Hello student, welcome to Brain Vessel, your own e-learning class. In today's class, we are going to study demand. First, the definition of demand. What is demand? Demand is the quantity of a commodity that consumer is willing and able to buy at different possible price during a given period of time. Demand is the quantity of a commodity that consumer is willing and able to buy at different possible price or given price during a given period of time. So there are three elements: given quantity, given price, and given time. Three elements are given time, given price, and given quantity. There are three vital elements are required to say anything is demand. These are desire for a commodity, available of money to fulfill that desire, and readiness to spend the money. Desire for a commodity. This is the first vital element to something say demand. You must have some wistful desire for a commodity. Second, you should have available of money to fulfill that desire. And third one is readiness to spend the money. The consumer must be ready to spend their money to fulfill their wistful desire. When all three elements come together, then we can say that such wistful desire converted into the demand. So the demand, there are 3 points must be exists. These are a particular quantity of a commodity which the consumer is willing and able to buy at given price and given period of time. The demand always measure in the period of time. The next one is the quantity of demand. The quantity demand and demand is different. Demand is a combination of the all possible quantity that the consumer is willing and able at various possible price, while the quantity of demand is a specific amount of quantity at a particular price at a particular point of time. This is point of time, this is period of time. Demand is measured at a period of time. Quantity demand measured at a point of time. Quantity demand is specific amount. Demand various price, various quantities of a commodity. Quantity demand a given price, a particular price, particular quantity at a point of time. Demand schedule. Demand schedule is a tabular presentation between various price and quantity of a commodity. This is what? This is nothing, simply the presentation of the demand in terms of price and quantity of a commodity. And the next is the demand curve. Demand curve is a graphical representation of the demand schedule. The last one is the factor affecting demand. Now, we discuss every point in detail. Now, the definition of demand we already covered. Now, that is schedule of demand or demand schedule. Demand schedule. Demand schedule is a tabular relation between various price and quantity of a commodity. Say, this is price of commodity X and this is quantity of commodity X which the consumer is willing and able to buy at various possible price at a given period of time. So the price of the commodity, say rupees 10, 11, 12. The quantity of a commodity, when the price of a commodity rupees 10 per unit, the consumer is willing to buy, say 4 units. When the price of the commodity is 11, consumer is willing to buy 3 units. When the price of rupees 12, consumer is willing to buy 2 units. So we can see that as the price goes up, the demand of the such commodity is decreased. So this is the period of time. At a various particular given period of time, the price of the commodity X is 10, 11, 12. The quantity is demanded by the commodity consumer is 4, 3, 2. So the schedule is relation between the various possible price and quantity of a commodity is known demand. This is demand. This entire schedule at a given period of time and that quantities the consumer is demanded is known as a demand. This entire one. This is demand. And when a particular quantity demanded by the consumer at a particular price at a given point of time is known as a quantity demand, sorry. So this is the quantity of demand, this individual, because this quantity demanded by the consumer at a particular point of time. When the price is 11, quantity demand is 3. So this is quantity demand. This is also another quantity demand. This is also quantity demand individually. Quantity demand. Right? So because a particular price exists at a particular point of time. For any particular commodities, price exists at a particular point of time. So when the price is 10, the consumer demand 4. This is what? This is quantity demand. And when the price is rise from 10 to 11, consumer demand 3. This is another quantity demand. And when the price again rise from 10 to 11, consumer's demand is now 2 units. This is another quantity demand. And when all the quantity of demand club together, that is known as demand. So demand schedule is nothing, simply the tabular relation between a various price and various quantity of a commodity demand. Next one is the demand curve. Demand curve. Demand curve is a graphical relation between the various price and quantity of a commodity, or we can say it is the graphical representation of the demand schedule. We see that in the y-axis we take price and the x-axis is quantity, and this is the demand curve. When the price is P, when P price, consumer demand Q quantity, right? When the price is reduced from P to P1, price is fall from P to P1, consumer is increase the quantity from Q to Q1, or we can say consumer is expand their quantity. When the price fall from P to P1, the consumer is expand their quantity from Q to Q1. So this is a demand curve. So demand curve nothing, simply the graphical representation of the demand schedule. What demand schedule? Demand schedule is the price of commodity X and quantity of commodity X. The price was 10, 11, 12, quantity was 4, 3, 2. Let me draw the same schedule in the demand curve. When the price is, say, 10 rupees, consumer demand, 4 quantity. 4 quantity, 4 units of a commodity. This is what in the x-axis it is quantity. When the price is 10, in the y-axis we take the price, in the x-axis we take the quantity. When price is 10, consumer demand 4 in a commodity. When the price rise from 10 to 11, 10 to 11, now the consumer demand only 3 units. This is 3 units. Price rise, demand fall. And again when the prices rise from 10 to 12, 10 to 12, again the quantity fall from 3 to 2. So this is what these are different point, this point, and we join the points. This curve is known as demand curve. So demand curve is a graphical representation of the demand schedule. Next one is the factor affecting the demand. Demand affected by the various factors. Factors affect demand. They are the various factors which affect the demand. These are price of commodity owned, price of related commodity, consumer's income, consumer's taste, and consumer's expectation. So first is the price of commodity. The factor affecting demand is the first point is the price of own commodity. Own commodity. This is PX. Demand is highly affected by their own price. These are foremost factors which affect the demand. That is the price of our own commodity. When the price of commodities increase, demand of that commodity is fall. And when the price of commodities fall, the demand of that commodity will be increased, keeping other factor remain unchanged. If we say then the other factor remain unchanged, the consumer's demand and price has inversely related. So the first factor is the price of own commodity. The demand and the quantity of commodity has inverse relation, keeping other factors remain unchanged. So if I say this is the price of commodity and these are the factors affecting other than the price. So price of own commodity means consumer buy less quantity at more price and more quantity at less price, keeping other factors remain unchanged. This is also known law of demand. I am repeating, the price and quantity of commodity are inversely related. Consumer buy less quantity of commodity at more price and more quantity of commodity at less price, keeping other factor unchanged. It means price and quantity of commodity are inversely related. Second is the price of related commodity. The second factor is the price of related commodity. PR. Price of related commodity. Related commodity are those commodities which are related with that particular commodity. These are two types. Related commodity are two types. Substitute and complementary. Substitute goods or complementary goods. Substitute goods are those goods which can be substitute each other, or we can say substitute goods are those goods which can be used in the place of another goods. For an example, tea and coffee. orange juice and lime juice, Pepsi and Cokes. These are the substitute goods. We can use Pepsi in the place of Coke. We can use coffee in the place of tea, or we can use orange juice in the place of lime juice. It means these goods are substitute goods. So substitute goods are those goods which can be used in place of another. Another types of goods are complementary goods. Complementary goods are those goods which can not be used without the another. Means those goods which cannot use alone. That goods known complementary goods. Example, pen and ink. These are complementary. Pen cannot be used without ink. Substitute goods are tea and coffee. Tea and coffee are substitute. Pen and ink are complementary goods. Mobile phone and mobile battery. These are also complementary goods. Without mobile battery, we cannot use the mobile phone. So these are the complementary goods. Tea and coffee, substitute goods. Orange juice and lime juice. These are the substitute goods. So demand of any goods also determined or also affected by the price of the related commodity. So related commodity means when the consumer demanded is depend on the what kind of goods are they have. Generally the substitute goods, if the consumer has more substitute, the demand of such commodity is depend on the what the price of the substitute goods are there. Okay. Third one is the income of the consumers. The demand of the any goods is also depend on the consumer's own income. Third is consumer income. Why? Why means yield. Demand of consumers also depend on the consumer's income. Generally, consumer's income and demand is directly related. When the consumer's income is increased, consumer demand more goods. And the income is fall, consumer demand less goods. It means for the normal commodity, consumers demand and incomes are directly related. When the consumer's income is increased, demand of normal goods also increase. When the consumer's income is fall, demand of the normal goods also fall. So income and consumer's demand are directly related. The fourth point is taste of the consumers. Consumer's demand also depend on the consumer taste. Fourth point, consumer status. The demand of a commodity also depend on the consumer's taste. Means what the consumer is prefer or not to prefer. See, the consumer is highly depend on the particular commodity. The consumers like that particular commodity. So in that commodity, consumers is continue demand the commodity even the prices goes up. Say if the consumer is habitual to buy drink a particular brand of coffee, so the consumer continually buy or consume the same commodity, same brand of the coffee, even the price of the commodity is goes up because he is habitual to buy that commodity. Means the taste. Consumers prefer the taste, and in the case of the consumer's taste is he consumer dislike the taste. So even the price of commodities fall, consumer would not buy the more quantity. So demand of the commodity also directly depend on the consumer's taste and preferences. And next one is the expectation. The fourth point is the expectation of the commodity. expectation of commodity means consumers, what the consumer expected from such particular commodity. An expectation of a change in the price of a commodity in a near future affect the demand. If it is expected that the price of a commodity is likely to rise in near future, consumer demand more of that goods. So it means the consumer is expected that the price of the commodity is rise in a very near future. The consumer will demand less goods. Means the consumer will shift the present demand, and the consumer expect that the price of a commodity will be fall in the near future. The consumer will shift the present demand and expect the price will be rise in near future. The consumer will demand more at present. So what the consumer expect from that commodity? If the consumer expect price rise in near future, price expected to rise in near future, then present demand will also rise. And if the consumer expect that the price will fall in near future, then consumer cut down their present demand. He postponed the demand for the near future, because in the near future, because we assume that the consumers behave rationally. So for maximize their satisfaction, consumer will cut down the present demand, because in the buying the near future where the price is expected to fall, the consumer demand will also increase in near future and reduce in the present. So if the consumer expects the price will fall in the near future, the present demand also fall. So these are the 5 factors which affect the consumer's demand. These were price of own commodity, price of related commodity, consumer's income, consumer taste, and consumer expectation on that commodity. Price of the commodity is highly depend on the demand of a commodity. Consumer price and demand are inversely related, keeping other factors remain unchanged. If the other factors are remain unchanged, consumer's price and demand are inversely related. This is also known as law of demand. The next one is the price of the related commodity. Related commodity are two types: substitute goods and complementary goods. Third one is the consumer's income. Consumer's income is also depend on the consumer's demand is also depend on the consumer's income. Generally, consumer's income and price of normal goods are directly related. When the consumer's income is increased, demand of such goods also increase, and when the consumer's income is fall, demand of such goods also fall. Fourth one is the consumer's taste and expectation. What the consumer expect, consumer's taste on such commodity. And the last one is the consumer expectation on such goods. So thank you for watching this video. In the next class we continue. So till then, goodbye. Please like and subscribe this channel.